Hey there, nature lovers! Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Philippine Eagle Owl. This majestic bird is a true symbol of the Philippines, and we're going to explore its description, taxonomy, habitat, behavior, breeding in captivity, early life, and conservation status. So, let's get started. The Philippine Eagle Owl, scientifically known as Bubo philippensis, is a large owl native to the Philippines. It's the largest owl in the country and is often referred to as the monarch of the forest. This bird of prey is characterized by its long, powerful legs, strong talons, and sharp, hooked beak. The Philippine Eagle Owl is found in a variety of habitats, including lowland and montane forests, as well as secondary forests and plantations. It's an expert hunter, preying on a wide range of small mammals, birds, and reptiles. When it comes to breeding in captivity, the Philippine Eagle Owl is a challenging species to breed, as it's known for being difficult to tame and has a low reproductive rate. However, with the right care and attention, it's possible to breed this magnificent bird in captivity. The early life of the Philippine Eagle Owl is marked by its parents' meticulous care. The female lays a single egg, which the male incubates for 35 to 40 days. Once hatched, the young eagle owl is fed a diet of small mammals and birds, and it's not until it's around 10 months old that it starts to hunt on its own. The Philippine Eagle Owl is currently listed as endangered, with an estimated population of just 500 to 1,000 individuals. The main threats to its survival include habitat loss, hunting, and the illegal pet trade. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey into the world of the Philippine Eagle Owl. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to follow and subscribe for more amazing wildlife facts. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring. The Philippine Eagle Owl Catupa philippensis is a vulnerable species of owl belonging to the family Strigidae. It is endemic to the Philippines, where it is found in lowland forests on the islands of Catanduanes, Samar, Bohol, Mindanao, Luzon, Light, and possibly Sibayan. 3. While it is the largest owl in the Philippines, it is relatively small compared to other members of its genus. It is a vulnerable species with its population on the decline. Its main threats are habitat destruction, hunting, and poaching for the pet trade. The true owls, or typical owls, family Strigidae, are one of the two generally accepted families of owls, the other being the barn owls and bay owls Titanidae. This large family comprises 230 living or recently extinct species in 24 genera. The Strigidae owls have a cosmopolitan distribution and are found on every continent except Antarctica. Habitat destruction, also termed habitat loss and habitat reduction, occurs when a natural habitat is no longer able to support its native species. The organisms once living there have either moved elsewhere or are dead, leading to a decrease in biodiversity and species numbers. Habitat destruction is in fact the leading cause of biodiversity loss and species extinction worldwide. 3 humans contribute to habitat destruction through the use of natural resources, agriculture, industrial production, and urbanization, urban sprawl. Other activities include mining, logging, and trawling. Environmental factors can contribute to habitat destruction more indirectly. Geological processes, climate change, to introduction of invasive species, ecosystem nutrient depletion, water and noise pollution are some examples. Loss of habitat can be preceded by an initial habitat fragmentation. Fragmentation and loss of habitat have become one of the most important topics of research in ecology, as they are major threats to the survival of endangered species. 4. Description at Malagos Garden Resort, Davao City, Philippines. Philippine Eagle Owl has a total wingspan of about 48 inches, and with a total length of 40 to 50 centimeters, 15.5 to 19.5 in, and a wing length of about 35 centimeters, 14 in, where typically a female would size. It is the largest owl in the Philippines, but among the smallest members of the genus Catupa. For 5-6. It is overall rufous with a lighter belly and yellow eyes. It has a warm brown coloring with many markings on its back, with a bird call pitch of a long whistle that rises shortly and falls at the end. 7. It is also described as being incredibly bulky and having tufted ears, closely resembling the buffy fish owl Katupa ketipun 8. The subspecies KP Mindanensis is darker and more heavily streaked than the nominate form. 5 owls are birds from the order Strigiformes 1, St. which includes over 200 species of mostly solitary and nocturnal birds of prey typified by an upright stance, a large, broad head, binocular vision, binaural hearing, sharp talons, and feathers adapted for silent flight. Exceptions include the diurnal northern hawk owl and the gregarious burrowing owl. Owls are divided into 2 families, the true or typical owl family, Strigidae, and the barn owl and bay owl family, Titanidae. 2 owls hunt mostly small mammals, insects, and other birds, although a few species specialize in hunting fish. They are found in all regions of the Earth except the polar ice caps and some remote islands. A group of owls is called a parliament. 3 genus, Jinx, PL. Genera, Johncrick, is a taxonomic rank above species and below family as used in the biological classification of living and fossil organisms as well as viruses. 1. In binomial nomenclature, the genus name forms the first part of the binomial species name for each species within the genus. E.g. Panthera leo lion and Panthera onca jaguar are 2 species within the genus Panthera. Panthera is a genus within the family Felidae. The composition of a genus is determined by taxonomists. The standards for genus classification are not strictly codified, so different authorities often produce different classifications for genera. There are some general practices used, however, to 3 including the idea that a newly defined genus should fulfill these 3 criteria to be descriptively useful. The buffy fish owl Katupa ketipu, also known as the Malay fish owl, is a fish owl in the family Strigidae. It is native to Southeast Asia and lives foremost in tropical forests and wetlands. Due to its wide distribution and assumed stable population, it is listed as least concern on the IUCN Red List since 2001. In biological classification, subspecies poll. Subspecies is a rank below species used for populations that live in different areas and vary in size, shape, or other physical characteristics morphology, but that can successfully interbreed. 3. Not all species have subspecies, but for those that do there must be at least 2. Subspecies is abbreviated as subsp, or SSP, and the singular and plural forms are the same. The subspecies is, or the subspecies are. In zoology, under the International Code of Zoological Nomenclature, the subspecies is the only taxonomic rank below that of species that can receive a name. In botany and mycology, under the International Code of Nomenclature for algae, fungi, and plants, other infraspecific ranks, such as variety, may be named. In bacteriology and virology, under standard bacterial nomenclature and virus nomenclature, there are recommendations, but not strict requirements, for recognizing other important infraspecific ranks. A taxonomist decides whether to recognize a subspecies. A common criterion for recognizing two distinct populations as subspecies rather than full species is the ability of them to interbreed even if some male offspring may be sterile. 4. In the wild, subspecies do not interbreed due to geographic isolation or sexual selection. The differences between subspecies are usually less distinct than the differences between species. The Philippine Eagle Owl was formally described in 1851 by the German naturalist Johann Jakob Kopp. He placed the owl in his new genus Pseudopteryx and coined the binomial name Pseudopteryx philippense. 910. The Philippine Eagle Owl is now placed in the genus Katupa that was introduced in 1831 by the French naturalist René Lesson. 1112. The Philippine Eagle Owl was formally described in 1851 by the German naturalist Johann Jakob Kopp. He placed the owl in his new genus Pseudoptynx and coined the binomial name Pseudoptynx philippense. 910. The Philippine Eagle Owl is now placed in the genus Katupa that was introduced in 1831 by the French naturalist René Lesson. 1112. A species description is a formal scientific description of a newly encountered species, typically articulated through a scientific publication. Its purpose is to provide a clear description of a new species of organism and explain how it differs from species that have been previously described or related species. For a species to be considered valid, the species description must follow established guidelines and naming conventions dictated by relevant nomenclature codes. These include the International Code of Zoological Nomenclature (ICZN) for animals, the International Code of Nomenclature for algae, fungi, and plants (ICN) for plants, and the International Committee on Taxonomy of Viruses (ICT). A species description often includes photographs or other illustrations of type material and information regarding where this material is deposited. The publication in which the species is described gives the new species a formal scientific name. Some 1.9 million species have been identified and described, out of some 8.7 million that may actually exist. 1. Additionally, over 5 billion species have gone extinct over the history of life on Earth. Katupa is a genus of owls in the family Strigidae. The genus formerly contained just 3 species, the fish owls, but based on the results from a genetic study published in 2020, the generic boundaries were altered. The genus now contains 12 species, 9 of which were formerly placed in the genus Bubo. Taxonomy genus Katupa was introduced in 1830 by the French naturalist René Lesson for fish owl species from Java and India. 2. The type species is, by tautonymy, the buffy fish owl. 3. The genus name is derived from the Malay word katupak for the buffy fish owl. For this genus formerly contained fewer species. A molecular phylogenetic study of the typical owl family Strigidae published in 2020 and another study published in 2021 found that the genera Katupa and Scotopelia were embedded in the genus Bubo, rendering the genus paraphyletic. In a move to create monophyletic genera, 9 species were moved from Bubo to Katupa. 4 of these species, Shelley, Coromandus, Leucosticta, and Philippinensis, had not been sampled in the genetic studies, but were assumed to belong to Katupa based on their morphological similarities. 2 of those species that had been sampled, Scotopelia containing the fishing owls, was retained as a separate genus, although the genetic results suggested that the Scotopelia may be embedded within Katupa. 5, 6, 7. 2 subspecies are recognized: 12 K. P. philippensis, Kopp, 1851, Luzon and Catanduanes, Northern Philippines, K. P. Mindanensis, Ajo V. Grant, 1906, Mindanao, White, Samar and Bohol, Southern Philippines, Luzon, Tagalog. Luzon is the largest and most populous island in the Philippines. Located in the northern portion of the Philippine archipelago, it is the economic and political center of the nation, being home to the country's capital city, Manila, as well as Quezon City, the country's most populous city. With a population of 64 million as of 2021, it contains 50.5% of the country's total population and is the 4th most populous island in the world. 4. It is the 15th largest island in the world by land area. Luzon may also refer to one of the 3 primary island groups in the country. In this usage, it includes the Luzon mainland, the Batanes and Babuyan groups of islands to the north, Polillo Islands to the east, and the outlying islands of Catanduanes, Marinduque, and Mindoro, among others, to the south. 5. The islands of Masbate, Palawan, and Romblon are also included, although these 3 are sometimes grouped with another of the island groups, the Visayas, Catanduanes, Catandunes, Tagalog pronunciation, Catandunes, officially the province of Catanduanes Filipino, Lalawigan and Catanduanes is an island province located in the Bicol region of Luzon in the Philippines. It is the 12th largest island in the Philippines and lies to the east of Camarines Sur, across the Maqueda Channel. Its capital and most populated town is Virac. Catanduanes had a population of 271,879 people as of the 2020 census. For the province comprises Catanduanes mainland or main island, Panay Island, Light Island, the Palambanes group of islands Parampong, Tignab, and Calabagio, and a few other small, surrounding islets and rocks. The province is also home to various mollusk fossil sites, notably the second oldest ammonite site in the Philippines. These sites contain certain species of ammonites that are found nowhere else in Southeast Asia. Because of the province's importance and rich geologic history, scholars have suggested that it could be named a UNESCO Geopark Reserve. 5 in the early 20th century, Catanduanes was a sub-province of Ambos Camarines. Later, it was a sub-province of Albay. It became an autonomous province in 1945. Congressman Francisco Perfecto filed House Bill No. 301, which separated the province from Albay. The bill was approved on September 26, 1945, and signed into law by President Sergio Osmeja on October 24, 1945. Remigio Saucedo, previously the lieutenant governor, was appointed the first provincial governor. When elections were held in 1947, Alfonso V Uesero became the first elected governor. On April 15, 2022, President Rodrigo Duterte signed the Republic Act No. 11,700, declaring Catanduanes Province as the Philippines' Abaca capital. 6. Mindanao. Mindanao. Mindanao is the second largest island in the Philippines, after Luzon, and 7th most populous island in the world. Located in the southern region of the archipelago, the island is part of an island group of the same name that also includes its adjacent islands, notably the Sulu Archipelago. According to the 2020 census, Mindanao had a population of 26,252,442, while the entire island group had an estimated population of 27,021,000. Mindanao is divided into 6 administrative regions: the Zamboanga Peninsula, Northern Mindanao, the Caraga region, the Davao region, Sacsayhuaman, and the autonomous region of Bangsamoro. According to the 2020 census, Davao City is the most populous city on the island, with 1,776,949 people, followed by Zamboanga City Pop, 977,234, Cagayan de Oro Pop, 728,402, General Santos Pop, 697,315, Butuan Pop, 372,910, Iligan Pop, 363,115, and 325,079. 3. About 70% of residents identify as Christian and 24% as Muslim. For needs update, Mindanao is considered the major breadbasket of the Philippines. 5. 6. Leyte. Leyte is an island in the Visayas group of islands in the Philippines. It is 8th largest and 6th most populous island in the Philippines, with a total population of 2,626,970 as of 2020 census. Since the accessibility of land has been depleted, Leyte has provided countless number of migrants to Mindanao. Most inhabitants are farmers. Fishing is a supplementary activity. Rice and corn maize are the main food crops. Cash crops include coconuts, abaca, tobacco, bananas, and sugar cane. There are some manganese deposits, and sandstone and limestone are quarried in the northwest. 3. Politically, the island is divided into 2 provinces, Northern Leyte and Southern Leyte. Territorially, Southern Leyte includes the island of Panaon to its south. To the north of Leyte is the island province of Biliran, a former sub-province of Leyte. The major cities of Leyte are Tacloban, on the eastern shore at the northwest corner of Leyte Gulf, and Ormoc on the west coast. Leyte today is notable for the geothermal electric power plants near Ormoc. Samar is the third largest and seventh most populous island in the Philippines, with a total population of 1,909,537 as of the 2020 census. It is located in the eastern Visayas, which are in the central Philippines. The island is divided into three provinces: Samar, formerly Western Samar, Northern Samar, and Eastern Samar. These three provinces, along with the provinces on the nearby islands of Leyte and Biliran, are part of the Eastern Visayas region. About a third of the island of Samar is protected as a natural park, known as the Samar Island Natural Park. Many names, such as Samel, Ibabao, and Tandaya, were given to the island prior to the arrival of the Spaniards in 1596. During the early days of Spanish occupation, Samar was under the jurisdiction of Cebu. It later became part of Leyte in 1735 until its separation to become a distinct province named Samar in 1768. On June 19, 1965, through Republic Act No. 4221, Samar was divided into three provinces: Northern Samar, Western Samar, and Eastern Samar. The capital of Bohol, Cebuano, Lalawigan sa Bohol, Tagalog, Lalawigan ang Bohol, is an island province of the Philippines located in the central Visayas region, consisting of the island itself and 75 minor surrounding islands. 5. It is home to Boholano people. Its capital is Tagbilaran, the largest city of the province. With a land area of 4,821 square kilometers, 1,861 square miles, and a coastline 261 kilometers, 162 miles long. Bohol is the 10th largest island of the Philippines. 6. The province of Bohol is a first-class province divided into 3 congressional districts, comprising 1 component city and 47 municipalities. 7. It has 1,109 barangays state. The province is a popular tourist destination with its beaches and resorts. 9. The Chocolate Hills, numerous mounds of brown-colored limestone formations, are the most popular attraction. The formations can be seen by land climbing the highest point or by air via ultralight air tours. Panglao Island, located just southwest of Tagbilaran, is famous for its diving locations and is routinely listed as one of the top 10 diving locations in the world. Numerous tourist resorts and dive centers dot the southern beaches. The Philippine tarsier, among the world's smallest primates, is indigenous to the island. It was the home province of Carlos P. Garcia, the 8th President of the Republic of the Philippines 1957 to 1961, who was born in Taliban, Bohol. 10 on October 15, 2013, Bohol was devastated by a 7-magnitude earthquake whose epicenter was 6 kilometers 3.7 miles south of Sagbayan. The earthquake, which also hit southern Cebu, claimed 222 lives altogether and injured 374 people. It also destroyed or damaged a number of Bohol's heritage churches. 11-12 in 2023, Bohol Island was designated as a UNESCO Global Geopark, the first in the Philippines. 13-14. Bohol is also the province with the most towns in the Philippines, totaling 47 towns, and 1 component city, Tagbilaran City. Habitat captive bird in a Villain Zoo. Rodriguez, Rizal, Philippines. This owl inhabits forest edges near streams. They rest in a tree during the day and hunt at dusk to feed on small vertebrates. The Philippine Eagle Owl is the largest owl in the country. 13. Behavior. Little is known about the behavior of this secretive species, but the powerful feet suggest it feeds on small mammals and birds. 5. This eagle owl lays 1 egg per clutch and has an incubation period of 35 days. 14. Breeding in captivity. In December 2005, Negros Forests and Ecological Foundation NFEFI in Bacolod was the first conservation center in the world to successfully hatch a Philippine eagle owl aptly nicknamed Bubo in captivity, and it has the only breeding pair of these owls in captivity anywhere in the world. Notably, NFEFI had first secured the first ever captive breeding loan between DENR-accredited institutions in the Philippines, consisting of 3 pairs of eagle owls from the Avilan Montalban Zoological Park in Montalban, Rizal, and transported them to Bacolod in December 2002. 2 pairs showed attraction, and the couple Hinahan and Suplada, local terms for calm and snob, made courtship. It was on November 21, 2005, that an owlet was discovered in the nest, about 3 days old, and named Bubo. As Bubo grew, Suplada taught it how to tear pieces of mouse meat, thus rearing it. In 2006, Suplada also laid 1 egg, and another owlet was hatched through the Aid Off the World Owl Trust, Flora and Fauna International Philippine Biodiversity Conservation Program, and the Avilan Zoologica El Park in Montalban, Rizal. 15. The Philippine Eagle Owl is also protected in areas through the Conservation of Priority Protected Areas Project, CPPAP in Luzon, MT's Kit Unglid, and Apoan, Mindanao. 16. Hunting of the Philippine Eagle Owl is illegal in the Philippines, but lacks proper enforcement because many local people are able to resist strict control attempts. 16. A mammal from Latin mama breast 1 is a vertebrate animal of the class Mammalia. McMealy, Q. Mammals are characterized by the presence of milk-producing mammary glands for feeding their young, a broad neocortex region of the brain, fur or hair, and 3 middle ear bones. These characteristics distinguish them from reptiles and birds, from which their ancestors diverged in the Carboniferous period over 300 million years ago. Around 6,640 extant species of mammals have been described and divided into 27 orders. 2. The study of mammals is called mammalogy. The largest orders of mammals, by number of species, are the rodents, bats, and eulipodophlins, including hedgehogs, moles, and shrews. The next 3 are the primates, including humans, monkeys, and lemurs, the even-toed ungulates, including pigs, camels, and whales, and the carnivora, including cats, dogs, and seals. Mammals are the only living members of Synapsida. This clade, together with Sauropsida reptiles and birds, constitutes the larger Amniota clade. Early synapsids are referred to as pelycosaurs. The more advanced therapsids became dominant during the Guadalupean. Mammals originated from cynodonts, an advanced group of therapsids, during the late Triassic to early Jurassic. Mammals achieved their modern type is quadrupedal, with most mammals using limbs for terrestrial locomotion, but in some, the limbs are adapted for life at sea, in the air, in trees, or underground. The bipeds have adapted to move using only the 2 lower limbs, while the rear limbs of cetaceans and the sea cows are mere internal vestiges. Mammals range in size from the 30 to 40 millimeters, 1.2 to 1.6 in bumblebee bat, to the 30 meters, 98 feet, blue whale, possibly the largest animal to have ever lived. Maximum lifespan varies from 2 years for the shrew to 211 years for the bowhead whale. All modern mammals give birth to live young, except the 5 species of monotremes, which lay eggs. The most species-rich group is the viviparous placental mammals, so named for the temporary organ, placenta, used by offspring to draw nutrition from the mother during gestation. Most mammals are intelligent, with some possessing large brains, self-awareness, and tool use. Mammals can communicate and vocalize in several ways, including the production of ultrasound, scent marking, alarm signals, singing, echolocation, and, in the case of humans, complex language. Mammals can organize themselves into fission-fusion societies, harems, and hierarchies, but can also be solitary and territorial. Most mammals are polygynous, but some can be monogamous or polyandrous. Domestication of many structuring of human societies from nomadic to sedentary, with more cooperation among larger and larger groups, and ultimately the development of the first civilizations. Domesticated mammals provided, and continue to provide, power for transport and agriculture, as well as food, meat and dairy products, fur and leather. Mammals are also hunted, and extinction of many mammals is primarily driven by human poaching and habitat destruction, primarily deforestation. Birds are a group of warm-blooded vertebrates constituting the class Aves Latin, a epsilones, characterized by feathers, toothless beak jaws, the laying of hard-shelled eggs, a high metabolic rate, a four-chambered heart, and a strong, yet lightweight skeleton. Birds live worldwide and range in size from the 5.5 centimeters to 0.2 NB hummingbird to the 2.8 meters, 9 feet to an common ostrich. There are over 11,000 living species, and they are split into 40 for orders. More than half are passerini or perching birds. Birds have wings whose development varies according to species. The only known groups without wings are the extinct moa and elephant birds. Wings, which are modified forelimbs, gave birds the ability to fly, although further evolution has led to the loss of flight in some birds, including retites, penguins, and diverse endemic island species. The digestive and respiratory systems of birds are also uniquely adapted for flight. Some bird species called ornithology. Birds are feathered theropod dinosaurs and constitute the only known living dinosaurs. Likewise, birds are considered reptiles in the modern cladistic sense of the term, and their closest living relatives are the crocodilians. Birds are descendants of the primitive avialins, whose members include Archaeopteryx, which first appeared during the late Jurassic. According to some estimates, modern birds near-nides evolved in the late Cretaceous or between the early and late Cretaceous 100 ma and diversified dramatically around the time of the Cretaceous spa, legging extinction event 66 million years ago, which killed off the pterosaurs and all non-ornithuran dinosaurs. For 5 many social species, preserve knowledge across generations culture. Birds are social, communicating with visual signals, calls, and songs, and participating in such behavior as cooperative breeding and hunting, flocking, and mobbing of predators. The vast majority of bird species are socially, but not necessarily sexually monogamous, usually for one breeding season at a time, sometimes for years, and rarely for life. Other species have breeding systems that are polygynous, one male with many females, or, rarely, polyandrous, one female with many males. Birds produce offspring by laying eggs, which are fertilized through sexual reproduction. They are usually laid in a nest and incubated by the parents. Most birds have an extended period of parental care after hatching. Many species of birds are economically important as food for human consumption and raw material in manufacturing, with domesticated and undomesticated birds being important sources of eggs, meat, and feathers. Songbirds, parrots, and other species are popular as pets. Guano bird excrement human culture. About 120 to 130 species have become extinct due to human activity since the 17th century, and hundreds more before then. Human activity threatens about 1,200 bird species with extinction, though efforts are underway to protect them. Recreational birdwatching is an important part of the ecotourism industry. Early life after hatching. Philippine Eagle Owl chicks need to be intensely cared for by their parents. These new chicks are unable to thermoregulate by themselves, so they need the body heat from their mother or father to keep them warm. 17. These chicks are also unable to feed themselves due to their lack of ability to fly. The father bird will go out to catch the food, while the mother will tear it up into smaller pieces for the chick to eat. 18. Thermoregulation is the ability of an organism to keep its body temperature within certain boundaries, even when the surrounding temperature is very different. A thermoconforming organism, by contrast, simply adopts the surrounding temperature as its own body temperature, thus avoiding the need for internal thermoregulation. The internal thermoregulation process is one aspect of homeostasis, a state of dynamic stability in an organism's internal conditions, maintained far from thermal equilibrium with its environment. The study of such processes in zoology has been called physiological ecology. If the body is unable to maintain a normal temperature and it increases significantly above normal, a condition known as hyperthermia occurs. Humans may also experience lethal hyperthermia when the wet bulb temperature is sustained above 35°C-95°F for 6 hours. One work in 2022 established by experiment that a wet bulb temperature exceeding 30.55°C caused uncompensable heat stress in young, healthy adult humans. The opposite condition, when body temperature decreases below normal levels, is known as hypothermia. It results when the homeostatic control mechanisms of heat within the body malfunction, causing the body to lose heat faster than producing it. Normal body temperature is around 37°C-98.6°F, and hypothermia sets in when the core body temperature gets lower than 35 Celsius, 95°F. Two, usually caused by prolonged exposure to cold temperatures. Hypothermia is usually treated by methods that attempt to raise the body temperature back to a normal range. 3, it was not until the introduction of thermometers that any exact data on the temperature of animals. It was then found that local differences were present, since heat production and heat loss vary considerably in different parts of the body. Although the circulation of the blood tends to bring about a mean temperature of the internal parts. Hence, it is important to identify the parts of the body that most closely reflect the temperature of the internal organs. Also, for such results to be comparable, the measurements must be conducted under comparable conditions. The rectum has traditionally been considered to reflect most accurately the temperature of internal parts, or in some cases of sex or species, the vagina, uterus, or bladder. 4. Some animals undergo one of various forms of dormancy, where the thermoregulation process temporarily allows the body temperature to drop, thereby conserving energy. Examples include hibernating bears and torpor in bats. Conservation status: this species has been assessed as a vulnerable species by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Its population is estimated at 2,500 to 10,000 mature adults and is declining. Its main threats are habitat loss from illegal logging, land conversion, mining. This species is also persecuted as owls are supposedly bad luck. It has also been recorded being traded in illegal wildlife trade groups. Most recent records of this bird are in Luzon. There's only one unexpected record in Bohol in 1994, and Mindanao records are extremely sparse. This species has been recorded in the protected areas Northern Sierra Madre Natural Park, La Mesa Eco Park, and Bataan National Park. However, most sightings are recorded outside protected areas. It is recommended that further fieldwork be conducted to better understand its distribution and status, improve the protection in existing protected areas, and better develop the captive breeding population. On 19. The International Union for Conservation of Nature (IUCN) is an international organization working in the field of nature conservation and sustainable use of natural resources. 3. Founded in 1948, IUCN has become the global authority on the status of the natural world and the measures needed to safeguard it. It is involved in data gathering and analysis, research, field projects, advocacy, and education. IUCN's mission is to influence, encourage, and assist societies throughout the world to conserve nature and to ensure that any use of natural resources is equitable and ecologically sustainable. Over the past decades, IUCN has widened its focus beyond conservation ecology and now incorporates issues related to sustainable development in its projects. IUCN does not itself aim to mobilize the public in support of nature conservation. It tries to influence the actions of governments, business, and other stakeholders by providing information and advice and through building partnerships. The organization is best known to the wider public for compiling and publishing the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, which assesses the conservation status of species worldwide. For IUCN has a membership of over 1,400 governmental and non-governmental organizations from over 170 countries. Some 16,000 scientists and experts participate in the work of IUCN commissions on a voluntary basis. It employs over 900 full-time staff in more than 50 countries. Its headquarters are in Gland, Switzerland. Every 4 years, IUCN convenes for the IUCN World Conservation Congress, where IUCN members set the global conservation agenda by voting on recommendations and guide the Secretariat's work by passing resolutions and the IUCN program. IUCN has observer and consultative status at the United Nations and plays a role in the implementation of several international conventions on nature conservation and biodiversity. It was involved in establishing the Worldwide Fund for Nature and the World Conservation Monitoring Center. In the past, IUCN has been criticized for placing the interests of nature over those of indigenous peoples. In recent years, its closer relations with the business sector have caused controversy. 5/6 IUCN was established in 1948. It was initially called the International Union for the Protection of Nature 1948 to 1956 and has also been formerly known as the World Conservation Union 1990 to 2008. The Northern Sierra Madre Natural Park is the largest protected area of the Philippines, covering the northern range of the Sierra Madre Mountains of eastern Luzon. 1. The park is located in the eastern part of the province of Isabela in Cagayan Valley region to containing a total of 359,486 hectares, 888,310 acres. 2. It was first declared a wilderness reserve encompassing an area within a 45 kilometers, 28 miles radius of Palanan Point known as the Palanan Wilderness Area, through letter of instructions No. 917A signed by President Ferdinand Marcos on September 7, 1979. 3. On March 10, 1997, the area was converted into a natural park with the signing of Proclamation No. 978 by President Fidel Ramos. 4. The park is considered the richest in terms of genetic, species, and habitat diversity in the Philippines. It is one of the country's 10 priority protected areas managed by its own Protected Area Management Board, headed by the Regional Executive Director of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources for region under the rules set forth in Article 3 of Republic Act 9125, also known as the Northern Sierra Madre Natural Park and SMNP Act of 2001. 1.5. In 2006, the protected area was added to the Philippines' tentative list of potential UNESCO World Heritage Sites. 1. The La Mesa Eco Park is a public park located in Greater Lagro, Quezon City, Metro Manila, Philippines. It is in the La Mesa Watershed Reservation and near the La Mesa Dam. The park closed temporarily on February 12, 2024, after the ABS-CBN Foundation returned management of the park to the Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System. 2. It is partially reopened on June 29, 2024 under the management of the Manila Water Foundation. 3. For Bataan National Park is a protected area of the Philippines located in the mountainous interior of Bataan Province in the central Luzon region.